Christ Haven to me is a sanctuary. It's a place of peace and hope. It's really a place of hope. We give kids hope. Our philosophy is that children who've been hurt in families heal best in families. There maybe was some negative event in their family, a family breakdown, maybe a parent didn't have the money to be able to support them. They lost their job. Maybe they struggled with drugs or alcohol or some other thing. And so there was this breakdown in the family. And so that was a traumatic experience for the kids. So we believe that kids heal best in a positive, stable, Christian, family-oriented home. And so we don't do dormitories. We don't. We want to have a home just like the home that a lot of our donors and maybe people who are listening to this video grew up in.
My name is Debbie. My husband Rick and I are the house parents at Cottage 8. Cottage 8 has all boys. We have 8 boys at this time. The youngest are 9 years old and they're about to turn 10 at the end of the month. And our oldest are 17. We have something that's a little unique on our cottage, and that's the fact that we have 2 sets of twins, which are our youngest set and our oldest set are both in our cottage. Meal times are very important, not only to me as growing up with my family. We always sit down at the table together for dinner. And that's something I try to make sure we do here, and it's very important to our kids. And the reason I think it's important to them is because so many of them, we have some boys that actually did not know where their next meal was coming from because they really didn't know if they were going to eat or not eat. They talk about things that they used to do to scrounge around and find food. So I know that food is a very important part of their life because of them not always having enough.
In order to deal with kids who've been through traumatic experiences here at Christ Haven, we've had to shift the way we think about kids coming into care. Traditionally, in child care, a kid would come into care and you do a psychological evaluation and you get some read, you'd interview their school counselors, their parents, you'd ask questions about what had been going on in the home and all that sort of thing. And so, you come up with a kind of assessment. You say, well, this child is depressed, or they've got attention deficit, or they're hyperactive, or they have a defiance disorder, or they're dissociative, meaning they don't connect well with relationships. And all those things may be true, but none of those are the real issue, because then you're looking at a kid as a problem that you're trying to fix. And so the shift that we've made over the last several years is asking the question, what has happened to this child? And so we are concerned about what's happened to them. We want to know what's happened to them. And when they come into care, we don't always know. Parents may not tell us. The kids may not tell us. It may take 6 months, a year, or more before they begin to open up because they learn to trust us and tell us what's really happened to them in their life. Because trauma drives everything. It drives their emotions, it drives their behavior, it drives their self-esteem, it drives their ability to see into the future and plan for the future and have hope and all that. Human beings are resilient. I think God makes us resilient. He gives us the gift of resiliency. And so we can overcome bad experiences in life if we're given the opportunity to do that, if we have the right tools. So that's the challenge we're facing, is how do we help these kids overcome what has happened to them? A volunteer who comes here, regardless of what they do, whether they're reading to kids, whether they are helping with buildings and grounds or mentoring kids, they're involved in a work that is saving the lives of kids, that is actually leading to the transformation of a life, a rescuing of somebody. And that's why a lot of us work here, is because we want to be involved in that kind of organization. We want to be involved in an organization that is making that kind of difference in the world. And so when people come here to volunteer, that's what we often tell them, is that they are involved in a process in a community that is making a huge difference in the lives of the children that are in our care.